Curriculum components can be organized in numerous ways. Most curriculum designs are modifications or interpretations of three basic designs, that is, subject-centered design, learner-centered designs, and problem-centered design. So today, we are going to talk about those three representative of curriculum design. This design draws heavily on Plato's academic idea. Among designs, subject-centered designs have the most classifications. Concepts central to a culture are more highly elaborated than peripheral ones. In our culture, content is central to schooling. Therefore, we have many concepts to interpret our diverse organizations. First, we'll tackle about subject design. This is the oldest and best-known school design, and it corresponds to textbook treatment and teachers' training as subject specialists. An early spokesperson for the subject curriculum was Henry Morrison. He argued that the subject matter curriculum contributed most to literacy, which should be the focus of the elementary curriculum. He also believed that such a design allowed secondary students to develop interest and competencies in particular subject areas. However, he believed that a variety of courses should be offered to meet students' diverse needs. Curriculum is organized according to how essential knowledge has developed in various subject areas. And in subject design, subjects are best outlined in textbooks and ebooks, and even in developed computer information programs. So here are the pros of the subject design. So subject design has emphasis on verbal activities. And also, it introduces students to essential knowledge of society. This essential knowledge of society addresses the big idea of socialization. Also, this design is easy to deliver because complementary textbooks and support materials are commercially available. However, here are the disadvantages of subject design. Number one, it prevents program individualization and de-emphasizes the learner. Number two, it disempowers students by not allowing them to choose the content most meaningful to them. 3. It stresses subject matter, and it fails to foster social, psychological, and physical development, and to some extent, it promotes a scholarly elite. Another disadvantage of subject-centered design is that learning tends to be compartmentalized and mnemonic skills tend to be stressed. It also stresses content and neglects students' needs, interests, and experiences. Finally, teachers tend to foster student passivity. The next type of subject-centered design is discipline design. It evolved from the separate subject design, and it's based on content's inherent organization. The discipline design's orientation specify its focus on academic disciplines. So what is a discipline? A discipline is a specific knowledge that has the following essential characteristics: a network of communications, an expression of human imagination, a mode of inquiry, a conceptual structure, a heritage of literature, a community of persons, a specialized language, a valuative and affective stance, and an instructive community. It can also be a domain or a tradition. So, this stress on disciplined knowledge emphasizes science, mathematics, English, history, and certain other disciplines. Advocates view the school as microcosm of the world of intellect reflected by such disciplines. So what is the difference between the subject design and the discipline design? So number one, in subject design, students are considered to have learned if they simply acquire information. It emphasizes filling students with knowledge. While in discipline design, students experience the disciplines so that they can comprehend and conceptualize. It aims to foster student thinkers who can utilize information to generate knowledge and understandings. Here are the advantages of discipline design. Number one, it encourages students to see each discipline's basic logic or structure. the key relationships, concepts, and principles. Number 2, students master the content area and are able to continue their learning independently in the field. Another one is students function as little scholars in the school curriculum's respective fields, and students have opportunities to learn knowledge essential for effective living. Here are the disadvantages of a discipline design. Number 1, it assumes that students must adapt to the curriculum rather than the other way around, and views that curriculum knowledge should mirror disciplined knowledge. Also, it assumes that all students have a common or a similar learning style, and it causes school to ignore the vast amount of information that cannot be classified as disciplined knowledge, such as aesthetics, humanism, personal, social living, and vocational education. Another type of subject-centered design is the broad fields design. So it's often called the interdisciplinary design, as shown in the picture in the slide. So it strove to give students a sweeping understanding of all content areas, seen at the college level only in the introductory courses, but it is widespread within K-12 curriculum. So in broad fields design, Harry Brody and colleagues suggested that the entire curriculum should be organized in these categories. Number 1, symbolics of information, such as English, foreign languages, and mathematics. Number 2, basic sciences, such as general science, biology, physics, and chemistry. Number 3, developmental studies, such as evolution of cosmos, of social institutions, and of human culture. Number 4, exemplars, such as modes of aesthetic experience, including art, music, drama, and literature. And lastly, molar problems, which addresses typical social problems. Here are the advantages of broad fields design. Number 1, it focuses on curriculum webs, connections among related themes or concepts. 2, it allows hybrid forms of content and knowledge in the curriculum and student participation in constructing knowledge. Here are some disadvantages of broad fields design. It's breadth at the expense of depth. So a year of social studies teaches students a greater range of social science concepts than a year of history. And issue of depth is even more central when we expand the broad fields design to an integrated curriculum design. Another type of subject-centered design is correlation design. So this design attempts to identify ways in which subjects can be related yet maintain their separate identities. So the most frequently correlated subjects are English literature and history at the secondary level, and language arts and social studies at the elementary level. In the correlation design, few teachers use correlation design, possibly because it requires that they plan their lessons cooperatively, and most class schedules do not allow a block of time sufficient for students to meaningfully study correlated subjects.